Welcome to the 112th ever episode of the Dex Podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Kellz.
And today, folks, holy moly, we are talking to you in the correct time frame, post-announcement, with nothing on the horizon as far as we know. We made it. We got a huge info dump ahead of us. Welcome to the official Pokemon podcast of the Dex channel on YouTube. I'm Alex. This is Kellz. Jimmy's not with us today. I have been having some problems with my streaming computer. It died. That's what we've been recording the podcast on the past couple of weeks. And basically, it was just fixed when it was fixed. And so I wanted to try and get the podcast out on time. So Jimmy's not available right now, but he just wanted everyone to know really quickly, just real quick. He hates Dartrix. Torracat is okay, and Brionne is awesome, but he's also considering dropping starters entirely.
Whoa.
So that's all. And he says hashtag sorry Dexcast from Jimmy.
That's some big, real quick news.
I know. But before we get into that, how was your Poke Week?
My Poke Week was scant.
What do you mean scant?
Well, I don't know. I didn't do all that much. I'm really busy at work right now because I'm working through like a couple different things. And I'm at a brand new hospital. So I'm just like, busy.
But you've been playing TCG.
A little. I was doing a little bit of TCG, not a whole lot of it. And I also played a bunch of pinball because I'm obsessed with it right now.
Yeah, after we recorded, we did like a batch recording of the Dex Versus. And so, Kellz, we have continued playing it. Like, I moved the Wii U into our room because we were having trouble with the capture computer, so I had to record it in there, and now I just left it in there so I can use it in my bed, which is a first for me. I love it. Makes me even happier to own a Wii U. As for me, I've been doing the same thing. I've been doing a lot of research, especially considering recent news. I've been moving production forward on a few things. We have a few extra weeks because we got ahead because I shaved my beard.
Oh.
We're a few weeks ahead on the Dex because I shaved my beard and I wanted to give myself some time to settle into my new look.
Great.
Or grow my beard back.
Great.
Whichever one happens. Where was I going with that?
You're just updating us on the week.
Oh yeah, so I'm moving forward with a couple other projects for the channel in the meantime. So that's kind of like what I've been doing in the background this week. But other than that, I've just been waiting around for this announcement and playing a bunch of Destiny.
I was so thinking about other things that I didn't even know the day, October 4th, when the video came out. I didn't even set an alarm because I forgot plumb about it.
I definitely came in and was like, hey.
And then all of a sudden I heard the Pika!
Oh, boom. Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah.
Right.
It's so iconic at this point.
Right.
Pikachu comes bearing good news.
Dude, speaking of good news, let's just jump right into it because I don't even think we're going to have time for a segment today because there's so much news.
Welcome to the news, darlings.
Woo!
What do we think?
I think actually, regardless of how you said news, I actually have to add in a couple things before we start the main body of the news because these are new things that just came out today that wasn't in
that are minor.
That are minor things, but very cool things actually.
Let's jump in.
So the first thing is that we know the file sizes for Sun and Moon.
Okay, for the actual full games.
For the games, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the games take up 3.2 gigabytes, approximately 26,215 blocks of space on your SD card.
It's a lot.
And the official site advises having a 4 gigabyte SD card
at least,
and having the demo and the main game. If you have the smallest SD card, it might not fit both the demo and the main game. So just be aware of
you
that.
can buy a 32 gig one and throw it in there.
Right.
It's
and isn't
pretty
the one
cheap.
that comes with it that one's not even 4 gigs, right? That one's bigger than that, right?
I know that some of them came with 4 gigs. I don't know if any of them came with larger cards, but I know that I've received 3DSs with 4 before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I don't even know if you know this, Alex, so I'm excited to hear your live reaction to all this.
Okay.
So Pokemon Go, Niantic has announced 2 new features that are going to be implemented shortly, and actually one of them is rolling out right now. That one is that you can now take 6 Pokemon into a gym that is your same color and train against train against your gyms with a full team. Basically.
So much better.
So much better, first of all. And then second of all, if you are a very low level, it will temporarily decrease the CP of the gym Pokemon so that you can like
actually train.
Fight them in a fair fight. But then of course anyone that comes and tries to battle against the gym has to fight the full CP Pokemon.
So just for your own color.
Yes, just for your own colors.
Dope.
Yeah,
That's the kind of thinking that I'm looking for. I'm looking for responses to the shortcomings that we're having.
Yeah, and this seems just like that. And another thing, which I think you'll also like, is this feature is as you capture more Pokemon of the same type, you'll get a catch bonus to the capture rate of Pokemon of that type.
Type as in species?
Type as in type of Pokemon. Grass, water, fire.
Oh, so it's not actually that much. It's not actually that much work.
So basically, you get a +1 bronze, +2 silver, +3 gold medal for each one, and it's like water type Pokemon. You currently have a silver medal, and so your catch rate for water Pokemon goes up. So the more you catch Pokemon, the easier it'll be allegedly to catch Pokemon of that type, which is awesome. Which is awesome because if you're at a high level in the game, it's really like
it's so hard to catch.
Your Pidgeys start to come at like level 400 and they
just break out of the balls.
Yeah. So that's been really frustrating. So it's a cool. I think both of these features are really cool because it gives it brings it
more in line with like a real game.
Yeah, it gives the new players a chance to like train up at the gyms, and it gives the players that have been playing a long time like not to have to like waste all of their Pokeballs on stuff that they don't want. So
sick.
Yeah, two really excellent features. That as far as right now is the newest news. So we can go to the
newest news.
The newest of the news.
Great. So big info dump this week. Like huge stuff in like many different areas.
Yeah.
So we're going to touch on all those areas really quick. Not really quick. It's probably going to go in depth because we're going to have to talk about each thing. So for that reason, I think I'm going to postpone the Fanswers segment this week. I'm just like, we don't need one. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is that a special Pokemon Sun and Moon demo will be up on October 18th. In the demo, you will be able to preview Sun and Moon, and you will also receive a Pokeball from, and I quote, a certain someone, which contains a Greninja that can transform into Ash Greninja in-game.
What?
Yeah. Players of the demo, if you don't know what Ash Greninja is, basically Ash Greninja is like the Greninja that's doing Gajinka cosplay of Ash. Yeah.
That's very good.
Players of the demo will be able to transfer Ash Greninja to their copy of Sun and Moon. We also now know the in-game Ash Greninja trigger mechanic. When Greninja knocks out an opposing Pokemon, it changes to Ash Greninja form for the remainder of the battle. You can download the demo on the eShop or on Nintendo's homepage starting October 18th. I like this because like most of the time I'm impressed by watching mechanics from the game be translated into playing cards. Mm-hmm. But this feels more like a mechanic from the card game being translated into game. And it just feels like this mechanic is like a prize card or something.
Ash Greninja's not in the card game though.
Right, but I just mean
you mean like it's like that kind of a mindset?
It's like you beat someone so you get a reward for it. That doesn't usually happen.
Oh, you mean like you have to knock out a Pokemon before you get to go to super mode?
Yeah, like Moxie,
I think
Moxie's
cool.
kind of like that, but like this is tight. Do we know what it does to the Greninja?
No, not necessarily. I mean, the flavor text was talking a lot about making him stronger and making him faster, but that it doesn't give any specifics other than that. And then his ability is basically is become being Ash Greninja. So it's not like triggered by like a stone or a
It's actually his ability.
It's actually his ability.
It's like Ash Greninja, the ability or something like that.
It's Battle Bond, I think is what it's called.
Sure, whatever it is. I wonder if that means there's going to be more Pokemon like this.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thing.
Especially considering how much customization options there are.
What I found striking about it was that it says that the Pokeball is from a certain someone, which even though it's, into a demo, it's a very rare crossover of the anime and the games.
Well, what happens
which is kind of fun and exciting.
All right. So have we seen Ash Greninja in the Sun and Moon anime like previews at all?
I don't know. I think it seems like they wouldn't show that if that were a thing.
If he's in the anime?
Yeah.
Why
Ash
not?
Greninja?
Isn't he like one of the most popular parts of the anime?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not like the main focus of.
Well, I mean, is that a no? We haven't seen him.
We haven't seen him, but I don't think that's unusual, or I don't think that speaks to whether or not he'll be in it.
Well, right. I just mean like if this is a mechanic, maybe like we'll start seeing a lot more stuff like this happening because it's like a megastone without being a megastone.
Yeah, which is so strange that
maybe
like,
maybe that's where the megastones are going.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking. Maybe that's like the new thing because megas did tend to get a little OP.
Maybe they didn't go extinct. Maybe they just evolved.
Oh. No, I believe you're thinking.
Oh yeah, there. Okay, yeah, the evolution theme. Anyway, go grab that demo on Nintendo's homepage or on the eShop starting October 18th. I don't know why. I got a feeling that this demo is going to be a little bit more fleshed out,
meaty
than the Oros demo.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so. I think it's just going to be more self-contained of an experience, whereas the Oros demo was like kind of just like a really bad indie game or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose so.
It was just like do a little mini thing every day.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a little bit more like giving you the flavor of the game, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I was not super into the Oros demo. It was cool because it was like more than your average demo. But I think they're gonna like run with that idea a little bit more in this case. Hopefully, I'm
speculating.
I'm feeling good about it. That's all I'm saying. I have like a hunch that it's gonna be high quality.
I told a coworker about it today about the Oros demo. Well, actually, I was like, "Are you
about the Sun and Moon demo?"
About the Sun and Moon. I was like, "Are you gonna get Sun and Moon?" And she's like, "I don't know. There's so many games that I want to play." I was like, "How about on October 18th you try the demo and see if you like it?" And then she was like, "That's a really good idea." And I was like, "Maybe it'll help change your mind." She's like, "That's a great idea." And I felt like it absolutely worked the way that a demo is intended to work.
We are so, and it's not even out yet.
Right.
We are so damn close to this game coming out, you guys.
It's getting really exciting.
It's too
really
much.
exciting.
It's too hype. It's too real. I can't believe it. But I'm ready. I'm ready for that demo. Going forward. 2 thumbs up about the demo. Ready for the demo. Want the Ash Greninja. Interested in that mechanic. Next, the Pokemon Sun and Moon website for Spain has confirmed a new item called an Ice Stone. We don't know exactly what it does for sure, but presumably it's probably how you evolve Alolan Vulpix into Alolan Ninetales.
And maybe others?
Like in the way that the Fire Stone works on Vulpix.
Right.
Yeah, and it begs the question, will other Pokemon get Ice Stone evolutions? Or will there be more stones in general?
Well, I mean, like, in the past, I believe they've always been added in multiples.
Well, because the idea is that it's like natural, right?
Yeah.
So you'd think that it would be like a batch.
Yeah,
because
possibly. Well, especially because there's like so many types of rock in like the Hawaiian Islands. You've got like the volcanic rock mixed with like, well, I guess it's all volcanic rock,
other than
actually.
literally the whole island.
Yeah.
Well, like think about it this way. Literally, the only Pokemon that we've seen that don't... Okay, like any Alolan Pokemon that we've seen that doesn't have a stone that would already evolve it. Like, how does Exeggutor evolve? Leveling?
Yeah.
Right. How does Sandshrew evolve?
Leveling.
Mm-hmm. Marowak?
Yeah.
Leveling. Raichu, but like he's still
Thunderstone.
He's still electric type.
Yeah.
And there's also the Dawnstone, right? Which is technically kind of like the Psychic Stone.
Kind of.
Yeah. And then who else? What other Alolan forms am I missing? Meowth, but that doesn't evolve into a Persian.
Allegedly,
right? I don't know. I just feel like maybe there isn't a need for that many more stones. Maybe I'm just crazy, but this is a cool thing. There's a lot of things like this that are... Did we talk about the Mega Evolution thing?
Or
is that...
no, that's going to be later on.
Okay.
Don't worry. It's all in there.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of it.
Oh,
scrolling through the news document.
Mama. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's the first question. Do I think there's going to be more stones in the Ice Stone? I think it's likely. I don't want to like say it's definitely going to happen.
I'm going to give it a big fat maybe.
Maybe like is there a Fairy Stone already?
No, there's not a Fairy Stone.
There's only the Fairy Gem.
Right.
But there's also the Moonstone.
Yeah, and that was kind of like,
yeah. All right. Well,
it's all complex.
What doesn't have a stone? The poison types?
Yeah. Dragon.
Steel types?
Dragon.
But they have the metal coat, but that's not really the same thing. Dragonstone, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to use on Executor since it changes the typing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's that bit of news. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, just a little tidbit that's kind of fun for the wild speculative beast in you.
Yeah, so the Pokemon Global Link is going down really soon.
Don't worry.
That's the next bit of news. It's going down soon because it's getting an overhaul and is going to be reopened November 18th on the day Sun and Moon are released. And it's going to be a new platform for players to experience online battling and trading. Thus far, it's been like a bad version of Neopets for the most part, with some actually helpful things hidden away in the background.
The Dream Cloud was kind of fun.
It was the Dream World?
Dream World? Pokemon
It was
Dream World?
fine. It was fine. It's never been like bad. It's just like it seems
There's
like
just not a lot to do. It's just
like
fine.
it
like
doesn't
fine.
feel essential at all. Like I can do pretty much anything that I want to do there in my game.
Yeah.
Except actually, I like the articles a lot, but that's really just Pokemon.com. I don't know. You ever read those articles that like talk about competitive strats and like break down teams and stuff like that? They're really well done.
I actually haven't,
Yeah.
but I imagine they would be.
Right. But yeah, that's a global link. PGL, get ready, get hype. I wonder what that means for Pokemon Go.
Well, all of this next stuff news is features that are going to be on the PGL.
Right.
So-
But my question is, I wonder what that means for Pokemon Go. Because my PGL login has to do with my Pokemon Go, so I wonder if that'll still be.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. They would have to be stupid to do that.
What?
Like just shut off Pokemon Go for like a lot of the people playing it for like a month.
Oh. That I didn't realize. I didn't think about it going that way.
Right. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt that that's going to be a thing, but it's a thing that I thought of, and I was just like, So the first big addition is rating battles, through which you can participate and find out your global ranking compared to other trainers. Basically, just a global ladder. There will be 3 formats for this. There's a single battle, so you can ladder and single for once in our lives.
Which is awesome.
Hooray.
I love
Very
it.
dope stuff. College Alex is like doing flips. Double battles and special battles. The first 2 should be pretty self-explanatory, but special battles will have seasons, and the rules will change each season. It's kind of like how they do now with the competitions.
Right.
Like we did the Gen 5 triple battle tournament. We did after that like a hot potato sort of like fast move single Pokemon like fighting game RPG tournament. Some tight stuff going on there, and I love that stuff. But there's going to be a whole separate section for it now so that you can keep laddering in the other events all the time, which is cool. The first season of special battles is anticipated to be a single battle format that allows the use of legendaries, Ash Greninja, and Pokemon, quote unquote, you may not otherwise be able to use in normal format.
Which is probably just like other
Old Pokemon.
legendaries or other legendaries that haven't been announced yet.
Or mythicals.
Yeah, something like that.
I wonder if it means Pokemon that aren't bred in Gen 7.
I don't know.
That'd be cool. Because it seems like a lot of this stuff is like going to be limited to that based on what's going on downstairs on this list of notes. But I like, dude, like that seems so simple, right? But like a single battle ladder is like,
It's really exciting that it's finally going to be on the official Pokemon games and that you don't have to like, go online for Showdown for that.
exactly. The more stuff that's achievable in the game that the community does and likes, the better.
Right. And man, with this news dropped, I really think that Pokemon has been focusing on that, and that is super, super
Dude,
exciting.
I could not
Super
be happier with everything that's going on. The new rules for the Pokemon World Championship Series will be playable from day 1 launch of Pokemon Sun and Moon via the Pokemon Global Link as well. The basic rules have been revealed, and they are as follows. Only Pokemon that appear in the Alola region Pokedex will be allowed, excluding legendaries like Solgaleo, Lunala, and mythical Pokemon like Magearna. Cool?
Yep, cool.
That's usually what happens when a new game comes out.
Right.
Battles will be double format, so VGC is still familiar at least. No Mega Evolutions will be allowed.
At all.
Wow. And
Wow.
only Pokemon that can be obtained in Sun and Moon will be allowed.
Wow.
Like, I think that last one means that you have to have actually obtained it in Sun and Moon to use it.
Right.
Like, you can't breed it in Gen 6 and trade it up.
Right.
Tight. So it's going to be very loosey-goosey punk rocky this first season. Right?
Yeah, that's really exciting. I can't wait to see some of these matchups.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to clean up VGC a lot. It's going to open it up, like taking out a lot of the stuff that's been really prevalent in the meta for some time
dominating.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, especially because like there's going to be a whole slew of new Pokemon, and I know some of the old Pokemon are obviously returning, but like it's going to be tight. I'm really excited, especially for all the new like crafty like. You know, like when a Pokemon card deck or like Magic deck comes out and they like add like new mechanics. That's like the juiciest thing to battling. Just by like broadening it a little bit, that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And it's great because like it'll still be new enough that it won't have settled down, and so we'll see a whole bunch of crazy strategies, and especially barring all the Pokemon that we've seen so much before, like not allowed to use those now. That's really cool. That makes me excited.
And if we're talking about new features for rating battles on the PGL, a mechanic has been added called Your Time. This is the best thing because I watched this type of rule abuse happen in real life at Worlds, and it was sad to watch. Mm-hmm. This is a mechanic that functions somewhat like a punch clock system in chess. You'll have 60 seconds to select your move in battles and 10 minutes total for the match. If you run out of time on your clock, you lose the match. This is intended to make battles faster and more exciting and is a clear and concise way of preventing players from time stalling to win matches. This is exactly what we were talking about when we said Pokemon seems like they're trying to fix known issues that will clean up their format and make it run better and fairer. This is good stuff.
Really, really cool. And just to be clear, that doesn't mean that the whole match total is only going to take 10 minutes. It's like
your
you know,
turn.
while you're on the clock, while it's your turn, you're on the clock for the 10 minutes.
While it's your move.
Move.
Like
right.
Once you've selected your move, your timer stops. But if your opponent hasn't selected theirs, their separate timer continues to run.
Right. And so it behooves you to be able to choose your moves quickly and concisely and not stall out, because if your time clock runs out, you lose.
Yeah. Like another thing that like this does also is that it justifies some of the features that I was like getting a little bit like we were kind of like having disagreements over, like things like showing you what moves are super effective, for example. Mm-hmm. Like if you're on a time crunch, like, and you see the information in front of you like that, you're gonna have to learn to act fast, and it's gonna help you learn those matchups faster. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna make somebody who's like casually interested in the game who gets into battling sort of like speed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that translates to the games. I doubt that they'll do that in the actual games as far as the timer is concerned. Mm-hmm. But it seems like a great idea for competitive play. Very excited about that.
Right. And then I like a special shout out, I guess, to the Pokemon Company for this is like this perfectly addresses a huge problem. And it does so in like just like a cool, dignified way that is just like, okay, this is a new thing. And it's like them acknowledging that there is a problem and like already presenting you a solution.
That's what I'm loving about. That's just what I'm loving is they're trying to cut stuff off. So here's another one, battle teams. Okay. So this isn't exactly the thing that I really want, which is to have like a separate laddering system for Pokemon that are not real in your game and Pokemon that are real in your game. Mm. This is something I've talked about for a long time, just because like if you want to try something out, you know, in an unofficial setting, it shouldn't be so hard to shouldn't have to like go through all the motions of like committing to breeding that Pokemon if you're going to just try it out, you know? Right. And right now people go and use Pokemon Showdown for that. And then they're like, right, I think this is how I want my team to work. Like for this competition, now I'm going to go breed it. Right.
Right.
But this time now, because these are going to work for special rating battles, basically you can build your battle team and then share it via QR code as something called rental teams. Mm-hmm. So basically, let's say like you've been seeing a strat, for example, that's been like the popular chalk strat that was like all over VGC this year, right? Really like predictable team builds, like stuff like that.
Sure. Right.
Right. Before, if you wanted to try that, you had to either, you know, get that Pokemon, go through or, you know, it might even encourage somebody to cheat, to like hack the games just so they could try it out. Right. But with this system, right, one person makes the team and you share it via a QR code. And now that there's one of that team, right?
Anyone can try it.
Anyone can try it out. Like, be like, yo, like, imagine somebody like Wolf Glick or Aaron Zhang, who's like consistently like trying out teams and stuff like that. They're like, boom, here's a QR code for this team. Let's go. Or like, we're doing our new show, me and Brett. Like, if you want to like stay up to date on our team at the end of the day, we'll be like, all right, if you want to try this team out, here's the QR code for it.
Oh, that would be a great thing for that show.
Yeah, like that's what I'm
It
saying.
is coming,
Like,
I promise.
it's just really no, it is coming. It's just like it's super weird, right? Like
That's really cool. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people sort of like breezed over this. I know that a lot of the like hardcore competitive people didn't, but like I think a lot of people breezed over this feature. But like for the casual player, this makes you a lot more hands-on, faster with some of those high-level strats, you know? And it helps you in a way that teaches you how to use the game better. Like if you're watching that video of Aaron Zane being like, here's my team, I'm breaking it down, here's like why this works, instead of having to like, you know,
Just like watch it and absorb it. You can like try it.
you can instantly apply it. Yeah, very excited about that. And
That
it's
is
only
really neat.
and it only works in special rating battles. So that's tight. As far as I know, it only works in special rating battles, but it's still tight.
No, it's like its own area where you like fight other rental teams.
It's a whole other area.
It's a whole area.
So so this is actually one step closer to what I was talking about, man. Like this is almost exactly what I described, except with like a typically Nintendo Pokemon Company style,
like share
weird,
together.
not like overly complicated like front end feature of like, well, first train an entire team, and then put the QR code online.
Which is fair because you know they want us to do that.
Right. It's
But,
just like it's bringing us one step closer to being able to try out that team at our leisure, but somebody's still having to do work. So I guess that's good in a way, but I think like baby steps are good, and it looks like they just care. They just care about like what the future of this game's competitive scene is going to look like, and I couldn't be happier. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
This is going to be huge for Pokemon YouTubers, I think. Next, global missions. This is interesting. This is like a weird departure as well. In Sun and Moon, the Festival Plaza will host.
This reminded me. I'm sorry. This reminded me a lot of like Black and White and Black and White 2.
Yeah, what's it called?
Well, I guess there's elements of like the Shopping Mall 9 and then the White Forest Black.
Yeah, but what's
that center thingy? I don't even
what's the name
remember
of
what
that
it's called.
thing that where you basically like have stores, right?
Yeah, that was Shopping Mall 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there was that big center thing where you could like go and do missions with your friends.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of
remember
it, but
what it
it's
was.
basically an evolution of that. The Festival Plaza will host limited time events for all players around the world to participate in. They'll have a shared goal to complete in this time and receive rewards through the Pokemon Global Link website. So that's like one step towards like MMO right there. That's like a Destiny style event.
Yeah.
Or like a WoW like themed event or something like that.
Right.
The first global mission was revealed to be catch a lot of Pokemon. It was said the goal number will be revealed when the mission goes live late November. They also promise a special gift to all players that participate in the first global mission, so try to remember to do it. If it's just catch Pokemon and have a PGL account, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah. So I feel like basically this first mission is just be like, hey guys, we're redoing the Pokemon Global Link, so make sure you sign up for a Pokemon Global Link account. And
There's just going to be a
incentivize
lot of
let's
stuff
this
to
cool
do.
mission.
I think it's just trying to show you like how that's going to work. where
Yeah,
it's like,
I feel like they're just guiding you on how they want you to experience. the
yeah,
game.
like, yo, hatch eggs. Everybody hatch eggs this month.
Yeah, right.
Then, you know, that invigorates like wonder trading eggs and like all this other cool stuff. Which actually, we don't even know if there's wonder trading yet, do we?
No.
I mean, we can kind of assume that there's going to be something like that, but
yeah, because it was such a popular feature. I feel like
people
they
like
would-
still like
they would
Wonder
bring it
Trade
back.
Wednesday all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about those global missions. Like it's very like almost like iPhone-y or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
But
And-
it feels good to be like in a part of something larger than yourself.
yeah, and that's so Pokemon. That is
Yeah.
so Pokemon like mission statement right there.
I wonder if your team in Pokemon Go is ever going to be represented in the game through your PGL.
Whoa.
Like if people can see that you're a Team Mystic.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I noticed you heard us say Festival Plaza back there and are probably wondering what that is. The Festival Plaza is an area you can go to and use communication features between players in person and online. You can earn festival coins by fulfilling other players' requests, which can be used in the shops at the festival. There appear to be mini games, places to increase Pokemon's EVs, and places to get rare items to train your Pokemon post-game. In the Festival Plaza, you can also team up in small groups for missions where all players try to accomplish a goal together. It's like a mini version of the global missions we talked about earlier. This is tight because I played a lot of Dragon Quest IX back in the day. And basically what that game was, I know this is not exactly that, but basically what that game was it was like somebody playing a JRPG on their own. And then if you're nearby, you can like hop into their game world and see them doing stuff. And then like you can like complete quests together and like do JRPG stuff together. So it seems like similar to that. Like maybe it's like beat like 12 totem Pokemon.
Right. Or like that Pyukumuku like mini game where you like throw them back into the sea. Like maybe you could do that with friends or something. What I think would be cool is if it's like the global mission, how it's like, hey, you between you and your friend catch 20 Pokemon, and then you can like be doing whatever your own thing is, but your goal goes up together.
Right.
Like
I think that's
mission.
exactly what it's like.
Yeah, that would be tight. I would love to do that. Just like sit in the same room as you. We're both playing Pokemon independently, but like also doing goals together. Like that's cool too, because it makes us interact face to face, which is again so Pokemon.
The only thing that makes me hesitant about this, right, is that it says that, and I saw this when I looked at it too, is that it looks like there's some kind of training situation going on, and I hope that there's not like some dumb requirement. Like if you want to
like
hyper
to level
train,
up your plaza,
like if you want to hyper train your Pokemon or something like that. I hope it's not like complete your 5 weekly missions to like get your
I see
silver coin for the week, your bottle cap for the week or something like that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that would be annoying just because I don't want things that I'm doing in the game to be necessarily dependent on other things to do. I think the beauty of Pokemon is that there's a lot of different sort of like...
And you can do what you want.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different paths to take in Pokemon, and tying them together too much might be annoying.
Like, I'm going to be taking so many pictures.
Right.
All those Pokemon, so many pictures.
But I don't want that to be like the only way that I can hyper train my Pokemon, for example.
I understand.
Yeah. But that's like a mini thing because I think that's great. But then check this out. The Pokepelago.
Oh my gosh.
So
this is great from just like a lore standpoint.
Yeah, the classic like meme, right? That we always think about with Pokemon is like, geez, like you always just like put your Pokemon in like the computer and just let them rot away in the boxes. Like, how does that even make you feel? Like, what the hell?
Right.
What if they were just in the Matrix?
And they just could leave at any time and go to a magical island called the Pokepelago.
So
where they could play games and go on adventures and bring home friends.
Yeah, so it incorporates. It seems like it incorporates all the Pokemon you never use in your game and gives them a life worth living. They can go freely from your PC boxes to Pokepelago and visit islands with very punny names. Isle of Beans. Isle of Beans?
Isle of Beans.
Isle of Beans?
Isle of Beans.
What does that mean?
Isle of Beans.
Isle of Beans?
Island of Beans. There's beans all over the island.
Oh, okay. Great. Where you can attract wild Pokemon with beans to just come join you. So you can catch Pokemon there?
Yeah, if you
it's like Pokemon catching
right
Pokemon?
Beans, yeah, if you set out the right beans, your Pokemon will make friends with other Pokemon and they'll just like decide to join you.
All right, great. That's really weird. Also, there's the Isle of Fun. Isle of Fun.
AFUN.
Yeah.
Isle
APHUN.
Apun.
Isle of Fun, where your Pokemon explore caves and hunt for treasure. Which
this is actually what on the Swedish website where the Ice Stone was confirmed because the Pokemon came back from the Ice Stone. Or Spanish.
Yeah.
Spanish.
And then finally, Isle Level Up. Isle Level Up. Where you can make drinks for your Pokemon that increase their stats or level. You'll be able to develop these isles in-game and also create new ones not revealed yet. Exciting stuff.
That's kind of fun.
Reminds me of what's that movie? The Pixar movie? Inside Out?
Inside Out? Yeah.
With all the
all the little islands.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. I like this feature. I think it's cute. It's a feature that is like not necessarily necessary to the game, but it's fun. Like,
dude, I think this could be huge. And the idea, like, actually, I was just saying, like, I hope that's not the one way to like hyper train your Pokemon. Mm-hmm. What if this is like another way? What if there's like 5 ways?
That'd be great.
That's like super MMO-y. I hope this thing feels like as connected as Destiny does. I hope there's like a lot of public areas where you can like walk around and see people.
I would be surprised if that happened.
I don't know. Like, how hard is that actually?
I don't know.
Like,
honestly, I have
how
no
often?
idea.
How often? Unless you're on an airplane, and even then, sometimes that's not the case. How often are you somewhere on your DS where there's not Wi-Fi? How often?
Not often.
Almost never, right? Unless you're like irresponsibly doing it in the car and you're getting sick, or you're like in a plane that's old. Like, you're probably somewhere where there's Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, sure.
So like all that public stuff, and I mean, that's like Japan 101, right? Like, that's how they love to interact with each other because they're all on trains all the time.
Right.
It's just like close proximity, near field, or like network-based communication. Like, I loved going, you remember the like surveys that you could do in black and white?
Yeah.
I loved going down to the student union at my college and like sitting down there next to like all the old Street Fighter machines and video game rental areas and just like seeing who was around because it was always like 10 or 20 people playing Pokemon in there, just sitting down playing Pokemon. And it was like really cool to like see that. And I love the idea of that. Like, I love like, what if like when you're in town, like you see like 5 or 6 people with you who are like also running around, stuff like that.
That would be that. I think that would be really cool. I haven't seen any indication like that's a direction that they wanted to go yet.
But this stuff,
it would be cool.
Kind of feels like Miitomo-y or something.
It fits into the game, the ballpark.
That social sort of boundary that Pokemon
it fits into the game field.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Like that sort of like social interaction that Pokemon's about.
Right.
It seems like on brand for them very much. And finally, last week, there was a report in some magazine that was saying that, what's that dragon's name?
What?
The little dragon who's on 4 legs.
Oh, what is his name?
Oh,
no.
His name's like Manu Po'o or something like that.
Ugh, I don't remember his name. Oh my gosh, I'm looking it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that Pokemon, right? They're talking about how his ability is noise proof or soundproof or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the verbiage said that.
Oh my gosh, my phone just died.
The verbiage said that it was able to protect from moves like Hyper Voice from Sylveon and Mega Gardevoir. And so this sent the internet a buzz, right? And then when this video came out, it was revealed that indeed, in spite of the odds and all evidence to the contrary, Mega Evolution is back, dudes. It was revealed that your Z-Ring can also be used to achieve Mega Evolution and showed a few of our most beloved Mega Pokemon evolving. However, it was presented as Relive Mega Evolution, and the website's wording makes it sound like Mega Evolution is a thing of the past. It says a select number of Pokemon were able to Mega Evolve in Oros and XY, and that if you have the Mega Stone for them, you'll be able to use them in Sun and Moon as well. So for me, all this means is that I'm updating my theory a little bit. From like, no, never will there ever be Mega Pokemon to like, okay, I guess they're going to have them so that people don't go crazy, but like, it seems like they're trying to just like phase them out.
Yeah.
Especially since they're not allowed in VGC.
Maybe not even, maybe phase them out isn't even the right word. It's just like let the ones that they were megas be megas, and now they're doing other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm not sad that they included Mega Evolution. And you know, whatever. Like,
right.
Cool. But
right, I never was anti. I just didn't think it was going to happen.
They did say though that it's only Pokemon. They said if the Pokemon is native to the Alola region, you will be able to use the Mega Stone for it. And they showed Mega Lucario and Mega Kangaskhan as 2 examples.
Which means they might be native to the region.
And Mega Salamence.
So that means that those Pokemon might be.
That means that those Pokemon might be in the Alola Pokedex.
Right.
And maybe, maybe Alola formed.
Maybe.
Or something. I don't know. But
I'm not ready to.
But yeah, but from what
speculate.
It sounds like, I mean, I guess we can't confirm this 100%. But from what it sounds like, it was like relive the Mega Evolution. These guys, they were able to Mega Evolve.
I think we can
all these past tense words. It just makes me think that there's probably not going to be any.
Yeah, and I don't think that's us reaching. I think that's a pretty like clear thing that's being communicated there. That it's like this is kind of like an older mechanic that we're just having that's going to be here, but. Doesn't really matter that much.
Which is interesting because I guess we were talking about a couple weeks ago, like how like maybe that was just the Gen 6 thing, and now it seems more likely that is the case.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, hey, whatever. I'm happy to see him back. I love Megas.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see. The main thing that I was worried about was that they were going to be in VGC again, and that's not the case. So whatever. I really could care less. Anyway, last but not least. We have to talk about these mid-level, the stage 1s for the starters. They were all revealed. Let's just go over them real quick.
Okay.
Rowlet,
we know Jimmy's opinion.
Yeah. Rowlet evolves into Dartrix. Mm-hmm. It can shoot quills with expert precision, going so far as to bend its quills to shoot them in an arc. Insert that movie here.
What's that movie where they can shoot the gun and it curves?
Oh, Wanted?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I knew you would know. That's why I put that.
Technically, Wanted is a comic book, and then the movie adaptation was subpar. All right. However, otherwise, it is somewhat clumsy. It is very concerned with appearances, and if it is too dirty or it trips and falls while in battle, it will become so frazzled and upset that sometimes it will just give up. So trainers need to work with Dartrix to get past this teenage phase.
I love it.
Great.
And I love it also, too, because of its, like, hair flip thing that it does.
Yeah.
So funny. So much
He
attitude.
looks like he needs, like, a katana and a fedora. Like, he looks great. I love him. And I love that he's, like, an archer, too, which is, like, such a thing that a teenager who, like, is into the stuff that I was into would be into. So
I think it's cute. Very
Dartrix, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs way up. This is my pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
This is my Pokemon pick of the week. Next, let's move on. Litten evolves into Torracat. Similar looking to Litten, except it's like a bobcat version of Litten. It has a flame sac on its neck that rings like a bell when spewing flames, which is weird. Its mane is very sensitive and can detect foes' web in the dark.
Oh, even probably autocorrect.
Even in the dark. It loves to fight. Its cat punch can
That's
knock
what it
out a
says.
grown man?
It says cat punch,
What?
man.
That sucks.
It'll probably be a fighting type.
Yep. The challenge of raising one is that you can act very spoiled with people it knows well, so you cannot let it take advantage of you. I love the look of this Pokemon. I love the idea of it being like a rude cat instead of like a prissy cat and not like an ugly cat like
He's a scrappy cat.
He's like a street cat. He's like a little, he's like Top Cat. But my thumb wavers on this because I really, 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 really don't want to see another firefighting.
I don't care. I'm into it.
Like, always, I'm a believer of the design justifying the typing. But, like, come on, dude. Like, it's just, why does it always have to be that? And if there is an answer, I would love to know what it is. Hashtag why is that it? Why firefighting always?
But it might not be, but like it sounds like it's going to be.
It really kind of sounds like it.
But I like him. I think it's cute.
The bell thing is also really weird. I get that it's like a cat thing, but like it's a weird cat thing.
What do you mean?
It has a sack on its neck that rings like a bell when spewing flames.
Well, it looks like a bell. It's just like a little like.
Does it ring like a bell? Does it go like ding-ling-ling-ling-ling? Well, like fire shooting out of its mouth?
No. What it looked like, I mean, it's hard because you're getting like 3-second clips, you know?
Right.
But like Torracat was growling and there was the bell, but flames were shooting out of the side of the bell and it was ringing.
All right, I'll take it.
I think that's cute.
No, I'm with you. I think it looks great. I love the look of this guy. Final word, thumbs up?
Thumbs way up.
Way up? Is this
I'm still on the team Litten.
Is this your Pokemon pick of the week?
No.
Oh, all right. So, let's move on. Popplio evolves into Brionne. It uses bubbles to enhance its beautiful dancing. This thing looks like if like bloomers were an entire outfit. If bloomers were like the same thing as like a halter top or something like that. I don't even know how to describe it. Not a halter top. What's the one where it doesn't have any straps at all?
A tube top.
A tube top. Yeah, exactly. It's like if a bloomer was a tube top. That's what Brionne is wearing. It looks great though. I'm very into it. It's very focused and will spend hours memorizing a new dance. It can dance in time with any Pokemon or person, even if they have never met, which means it's like an affable Pokemon. Sometimes at night you can see throngs of them dancing in perfect time. It always wears a smile, even if it's sad, so strangers must watch it carefully to truly understand Brionne's emotions. These reveals somewhat line up with progression toward leaked final evolutions we've seen before. I don't want to speculate too much on that, especially if you haven't seen it, but judging by what I've seen of these leaked evolutions, I'm not even going to tell you exactly which ones they are, though. You can probably piece it together. Like,
it seems
I'm pretty happy with the final forms of all of them, but they do, to me, Kelly seems pretty convinced. I still think it seems like a stretch.
I think that it seems likely.
Though I will admit that there are things that are lining up.
If you do want to look at him, you can look at him. If you don't, that's totally fine. I just think it's likely he doesn't. But wait, we didn't talk about Brionne enough.
No, I'm not done talking about Brionne at all. So, Brionne, everybody was sleeping on Popplio, right? But then now Brionne is like a little bit more confident in its performing abilities. It's a little bit like people are starting to like it. I love the like way it like poses all the time.
Yeah,
like it goes
it seems to like pose and like be very, very, like a dancer. But what I think, I mean, you were asking my Pokemon pick of the week. One, I think Brionne is awesome.
So you're gonna say Brionne is
No, wait. You just wait a minute.
Oh my God.
This is a whole can of soapbox here.
Yes.
So I love Brionne first of all on like a personal level, to the fact that its like trait is that it just wants everyone to be happy and does not show its inner emotions. I relate to that on like a personal level. It almost switched me over to Team Popplio, which maybe, I don't even know. I still think I want Litten, but whatever. I think that's super cute, and I think that the coolest thing about these reveals, for me at least, and being like in love with like Pokemon lore, I love how these second stage evolutions are like, we're seeing the progression up towards their final forms, but now we're hit with a challenge for each one. Like Dartrix is, is prone to giving up and needs like a trainer that's going to like help it get through that stage. Torracat is really spoiled and needs a trainer that can help it get through that. And then with Brionne, this like complicated, like unable to think of only itself, it like thinks of other people and tries to make everybody else happy. But like if you're a trainer for Brionne, you need to really like be able to get over that in order for it to reach its true potential. I think that is super cool, and I just thought it was a great way to introduce the second stages, because like they don't get a lot of love, but like it's really cool to think of them as an intermediate stage where they're like overcoming something to get to their strongest point.
Right.
And so my pick of the week is all three of them.
You might say that's your
narrative.
You might say that's your
pick of the week.
Pokemon pick of the week. Great. All right.
That's a new thing.
So that's it. We made it through the news. That was gargantuan. It's 45 minutes of news. That's huge.
Crazy.
But there's one last portion of this podcast that we have to do every week, and that is where we hear from you guys. I
was confused earlier because I think that you said that we weren't going to do a Fanswers segment, but I meant to say discussment. And I was like, are we what?
Yeah, we're definitely doing a Fanswers segment.
Here. Okay.
We're definitely doing Fanswers right now. Let's actually just jump into the Fanswers segment.
Fanswers, da 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 da. Fanswers, da 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 da.
Great.
This whole time, I should have just asked you. I should have just been like, wait, what?
I must have misspoke. I was thinking of like we're only going to do Fanswers. Anyway, if you're a new listener to this podcast, welcome, hello, hi, hey, hi.
Hoi.
Also, shout out to the Friday crew who are listening to this before the Saturday crew on the channel. What's up? This is the part of the show where we read emails from you guys about things that we talked about last time or anytime or whenever. So I imagine I tried to tell you guys to try and predict and write in about the news as it comes out this week. So I'm going to try and focus on that this week as best I can, just as I'm hot filtering through these emails. I'm going to try and find some stuff that's relevant to this week's news. So let's jump in with an email from Stefan. Do I need to block PokeTubers? Hey, Alex, Kellz, Jimmy Wallace, and Terrible Lapras figurine. It's Ace Barber Stefan. I'm just going to get right into it. With the hyped Gen 7 right around the corner, there are so many PokeTubers that are making amazing content for their fans based around Sun and Moon. I'm finally at the age where I'm making a good amount of money, and with such privilege, I pre-ordered both Sun and Moon, and I'm over the hashtag Sun and Moon with excitement for the games.
That's cute.
I'm just having a little bit of moral struggle. Once the game is out, every PokeTuber will be covering every twist, turn, plot point, HM, TM, NPC, and new feature that Sun and Moon will have to offer. I feel like I speak for many people when I say that I would like to really explore Alola by myself. I guess my question would be, how are you going to go about talking about Sun and Moon on your podcast and YouTube show without spoiling any content for your fans? Are you planning on speaking extensively about the game, or will you be talking about key highlights that are obvious mechanics and steer clear of the storyline? Hope you guys have an amazing Poke Week, and make sure you say what's up to Pup Boy Wallace. As always, hashtag sorry for the long email. It's not long. Hashtag Alex, when you cut off your beard and get a haircut, please tweet pictures so that I can see them, as I am a barber and would very much enjoy seeing you with a new hairstyle. Hashtag barber.
Oh no!
Hashtag later man.
You can't show them!
I already tweeted out a picture of my face. You can go find it at Facianier on Twitter.
I'm not a barber. I did my best.
It looks great. I'm really owning this, and I've actually.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I'm pretty into it. Okay.
Also, what's up, Pup Boy Wallace?
Hey man.
He's sitting right next to me on the couch.
He just snorfed in his own.
He's hanging his head off the side of the couch.
Anyway, here's the answer to this question. While I do believe that it is somewhat your responsibility to protect your own self from spoilers, we're not maniacs. Like, we're going to probably sequester specific plot points and things like that to some sort of. I think this time we're going to do some sort of let's play or some type of stream or playthrough of the game, as opposed to a really long-winded wrap up that lasts a whole year.
I don't think in regular Dex episodes, I don't think you're going to have to worry about us like spoiling major plot points of the game, because we'll probably, if we're going to be doing a Alolan Pokemon, we'll probably be doing just like like Lycanroc and things like that, and we won't really go into too much of the lore. We usually only do that for the legendaries, so we'll probably postpone on the legendaries so that we don't give away too much of the plot.
I mean,
and just talk about the design.
We'll give you a
and
month or
trivia
two
as
before we
usual.
like delve into the lore of the game, in a hardcore way on the main show.
Mm-hmm.
We will be covering mechanics and stuff from the show this time. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, as you may have noticed, some Pokemon channels are large and some Pokemon channels are small, and we have to make a living. So this year, as I'm trying to legitimize this channel a little bit more, I know we've been fairly consistent with content pretty much the entire time that we've existed. At least something for you every week, usually. But this time we're going to try and jump on a little bit more, try and optimize, because I know even though I'm like very, apathetic towards a bunch of YouTubers doing the exact same thing at the same time, I realize that some of you do actually want to watch us play through Sun and Moon. So depending on when I get my copy of that, I would love to do some,
some content.
We're gonna do something a little bit more than we have in the past in terms of covering the game as it comes out, but we will sequester most of that talk to that series.
Yes, and it will be very obvious if it's like Sun and Moon related.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spoil it,
it's gonna be like a Let's Play of Sun and Moon. You know what I mean, or something like that. I cannot guarantee that I'm not going to talk about HMs, TMs, NPCs, and stuff like that, because I think mechanic stuff, while exciting, is going to be spoiled like pretty quickly in the general community. I'm not too worried about that because we do need to talk about battling and stuff like that. And so I think that stuff's going to work its way into our show. We're going to jump immediately to Gen 7 as soon as we can this time. In terms of the show, in terms of the decks, usually we give it a few months for the meta to settle and whatnot. But I think that's hurting our channel more than it's helping. And I'm smart enough to, analyze a Pokemon without seeing what other people are doing. So I think that's what we're going to do this year. I think it's going to be fun. I'm very excited to roll my sleeves up and make some new shows.
Yeah.
So, it should feel exciting when a new game comes out.
I guess long story short is that, we're not going to do a podcast all about the plot of the game, or we're going to do our best not to spoil insane spoilers of the game. But also view at your own risk. And I would strongly suggest if you want to just take a little break and just do your game, absolutely more power to you.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do if you're worried about it. Better safe than sorry, because I don't want to be responsible for it, though I am going to be somewhat courteous about it. You know what I mean? I'm going to be understandably courteous. I'm not going to walk on eggshells. Thank you for that email. This next one is from Tyler, Pokemon Go Fancer, because we talked a lot about Pokemon Go's new features last week as well. Hey, all you Pokemon people. Oh, I forgot to say, if you want to do this, if you want to send in a letter to be read, send it into thedexcast@gmail.com. That's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. Guys, this is an audio-only format. Okay? Please visualize it in your mind. Thedexcast@gmail.com. And if you're on the Saturday crew and you're watching this on the channel, the email address is written on the thumbnail of every single episode. It says contact us, and it gives you the email address. So please drop us a line if you want it to be read on the air. This one's from Tyler. Hey, all you Pokemon people. My name is Tyler, and this is my second time emailing into the podcast. Since I don't know/keep up with Pokemon as much as you all, I don't usually bother sending emails on all the subjects you guys cover. But even non-avid players like myself can weigh in on Pokemon Go, seeing that it is the only game I have time for while going to college and working my week away. As far as what was already discussed last podcast, I agree that Pokemon Go is more of an app and not so much a game yet. It gets me out of the house and walking around, but it is lacking in many ways. What I would like to see in the game, past the obvious battling overhaul and increased Pokemon count, is a bit more of a concrete understanding of a Pokemon's stats and overall capabilities. Being the filthy casual that I am, I don't know how weight and height factor into how the Pokemon carries itself in battle, and the appraise tool does nothing to help my understanding. Sure, the battling is purposefully simplistic at this point, but I would hope that there is a plan to upgrade that system and how to properly judge your Pokemon with it. Do you think that I'm a bit overly optimistic, or I'm wishing for something that doesn't really belong in a game like this? Thanks for reading. #sorry for the long email. #not actually sorry because it's not long. Good. #will be sorry if you want me to be. No. #Pupboy Wallace for next Dex guest. He's here. #have a nice day. I will. Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler. I can answer one of those questions. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you take this news, height and weight do not factor at all into your Pokemon's strength and power. It was rumored that that was the case for a long time, but the stats and the height and weight are totally separate. Height and weight is just random, and it's for purposes of fun facts.
Well, that said, like, you know, that speaks to the larger problem at hand, which is that, like, people don't understand how this system works.
Right, and it's unclear. Like, you would think that, you know, an extra small rating and the fact that she mentions it while they appraise it, like, you'd think that the height and weight have something to do with it.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like you're just asking for, like, a, like, 10-slide slideshow to be added to the game, and I think that's fine. I think that's actually great, because number one thing that I love is people being able to educate themselves about how to play a game very easily. Like, it shouldn't be, like, a complicated barrier of entry.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing too is that actually I was talking about this with my sister because she's not really into Pokemon very much, but she really likes playing Pokemon Go, and she came to me so worried because she was like, the Blanche thinks that my Pikachu is not likely to make headway in battle. Should I even bother training it? And
Right,
I was
it's heartbreaking.
And it was like, no, you can still train it. That just means that, like, you know, some stat points are maybe a tad lower. It doesn't mean that the Pokemon's bad. Like, I forgot how good my Exeggutor was, and he's just, like, average, but he's one of my strongest Pokemon. So, like, it doesn't play so much of a huge deal into the battling, which maybe for you that's good, maybe for you that's bad. But it doesn't play so much into... It doesn't affect the stats so much that if you're just casually playing, especially Pokemon Go, that it's going to matter. If then you transfer your Pokemon into the real game and it doesn't have those good stats and you want to use it competitively, that's another problem. But really, if you're just casually playing Pokemon Go, the appraisal, while fun, it doesn't make a huge difference.
Right. So I hope that answers your question, Tyler. I mean, that's pretty much along the short of it at this point, right? Like,
right.
Those aren't crazy requests.
But I also do think that they're going to try to polish up the battle mechanics too, because I mean, already like the gym.
I don't know
battling,
why they didn't go with.
That
I don't know why they didn't go with the turn-based mechanic, or at least like something like Final Fantasy, where it's like.
I think as an app, they wanted to, like, you to be able to have constant motion.
Yeah, but I feel like that's so much harder to, like, program and stuff and, like, be stable.
I guess you're right.
You know, like, if it was just like slightly not like 100% totally live, I think that'd be better, but whatever. Anyway, next email is from Jonathan, and it's ready to surf with the Alolan Raichu. Hi there, Dexcast. I'm Jonathan, and here's my 2 Poke Cents. First off, I was ready to shelf Pokemon Go because it felt insurmountable to catch up when I'm still stuck at level 17, when people in my neighborhood are at 35, but one day this weekend while walking my dog, I actually managed to take out 3 gym Pokemon with my own team. Woo-hoo! I fell at the 4th, but it left me invigorated to keep playing because even I can take out someone in a gym at last. And it's going to get even easier, dude. My other thing is that I really want to get into the VGC scene, but I'm left intimidated because it seems rather likely that it will be Alolan only, and so far, we haven't seen a returning Pokemon species that's the same as before. It seems like it's just not a thing I can dedicate time to. However, listening to the interviews on here have given me some fuel to get over the bridge and still give it a shot. I'm ready to bring my own favorites from Alola into the battles and learn from others on how to either better use them or how to better take out more dunning Pokemon that will wind up in Ubers. Thanks for the work you do. Hashtag Team Litten, hashtag Team Sun, hashtag I know my email's not that long, hashtag See You at Worlds 2017.
Woo-woo.
Dude, the meme is evolving. People are starting to become self-aware about the average length of their emails.
It was Jonathan?
Yes.
Jonathan? Shoot, there was a part of this that Pokemon the thing
Go.
About being intimidated because it's new Pokemon. I actually think that it might be the perfect time to get back into Pokemon because it kind of gives everyone a clean slate, so everyone's going to be relearning the meta now. I was more intimidated, honestly, with a really established meta because I'm like, well, I already know the best things to use. How can I develop a team if I just have to use these? But now that, like, the world is kind of open, I can be like, well, maybe I can take worlds with Lycanroc.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of innovation this year. And hopefully the meta evolves as the season goes on. But also, like, I do believe that there are a lot of Pokemon that are returning that aren't changed at all. Right?
Oh, I feel that is the case.
Like in the trailers, I feel like in the trailers I've even seen like
quite a few
fair enough
of the old
amount.
Pokemon.
Yeah, just like regular old guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure that's okay. But this is all great to hear. Love this. And as for Pokemon Go, like, have faith. I promise that they're, like, listening. I promise that they're, like, trying to make a good game. They're not just, like, maniacal monsters who are like, yes, money.
By the way, I was so happy. I got someone tweeted at me saying that they went and listened to the Niantic interview, and from listening to it, they gained a better perspective on what they thought Niantic was doing, which is exactly how I felt. And so, like, shout outs to you, guy who tweeted that at me, or girl. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
That's all
but
I
like
want.
that was exactly it was exactly how I felt when I listened to it. So I'm happy that you got the same feeling out of it. And if you haven't listened to it, go back to the podcasts where we mention where you can find it. Because I can't off the top of my head.
Thank you for that email. This next one is from Metatony. The longevity of Pokemon Go and a new news bumper. Hello again, my favorite fabulous Dexcast crew. Metatony here to share with you briefly my hopes and dreams for Pokemon Go in the future. I really have enjoyed my time with the game despite me not being able to get out and properly play it for long periods of time. I live in Arizona, aka Hotland, and it's been too sweltering to try and have a nice walk for more than 10 minutes or so. Despite this, I really do hope it continues to grow and that Niantic can take their time with it as it does. It seems that a lot of the changes they've made that weren't well received weren't completely developed as ideas before being implemented. Things that have been planned out, like the buddy system, work great, and I'm sure trading in events will be tons of fun too. I just hope there will still be enough fans to make an event feel exciting. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. The other generations of Pokemon will be great too. In addition, I prepared a fabulous new news bumper for your show. If you do not end up using it because you can't stand to hear my luxurious voice, I would understand, but I decided to make one for you all anyway. It's a small token of my appreciation for you all. You really brighten up my week with your dedicated optimism. You're all beautiful people, and it takes one to know one. Lovingly yours, Metatony, #ThankYouDexcast.
Oh, that's
Hero.
very sweet.
So check it out, Tony. I'm going to throw this in this episode. You probably already heard it. I'm going to use it. It's pretty cute.
Can we put it on again just so that everyone can hear it?
I really wish that you wouldn't just dump work into my lap like that on the air.
Oh.
You're always like, you're going to put a special effect right here, right? And then it's like, what am I? Now I have to go edit it.
Nah, you don't have to do it.
What am I going to do? Not do it now?
Yeah, well, everyone knows why.
All right, fine. I'm literally not going to do it. And now you can blame Kellz instead of me.
Well, you already heard it once in the episode.
Yeah.
But thank you for that, because that is great.
All right.
And that was very sweet of you as well.
Thank you, Metatony. You're my only hope. All right. Next email comes from Ricky. Fun Pokemon question. Hi there, Alex, Kellz, Jimmy, and Wallace. This is Ricky, and I wanted to ask you guys a fun hypothetical. Bring a little realism to our Pokemon fantasies, or at least as much realism as we can bring to these fictional creatures. Which Pokemon do you see yourself realistically having? And by realistically, I mean taking into consideration as much as your real life as you possibly can. Where you live, your budget, how much time you'll have for the Pokemon, etc. For example, if you live in an apartment in the city, you can't see yourself realistically having something like a Taurus. I think it needs to run and frolic in a field, and you can only keep it in a Pokeball for so long to keep it happy. Heck, take it even further and take into consideration pets you already own. Which ones would get along with your hypothetical Pokemon? I, for one, can see myself having something simple like a Skitty or a Litten, since it can get along with my cats, or a Trico, since there's plenty of woods where I live to keep it happy, even enough to let it evolve, or even my favorite Pokemon Mareep, since I have a big enough yard for it to roam and chill. I hope you read this email. I would love to hear your responses. Stay awesome, Ricky. Apologies for the email length. I know it's not long, but I can't tell. On a phone. Team Moon. Lots of hashtags. One more hashtag. Remember when hashtags were pounds? My girlfriend hates hearing all these hashtags. One more for her. Love you, baby. and then it says sent from my iPhone, and then he has an arrow pointing to it that says C with a tongue out emoji. Great.
Hilarious.
What Pokemon do I see myself realistically having? Probably something like a Slowbro.
It's so big.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it like 4 feet or something?
It's pretty big.
How big is Slowbro?
Slowbro's pretty big. I don't know. My phone's dead.
You think it's big?
Yeah, he's pretty big. It's a pretty large Pokemon.
I feel like
if we're considering the size of our apartment, it's a pretty large extra being. Right?
5'3"?
That's like almost as tall as me.
Right, but like it chills in a Pokeball a lot of the time. And a lot of the time, like, it wouldn't be, and I could like take it out, go to the beach, hang out with it. Something, because here's my thought, right? This dude is not doing much.
Because he's slow?
Because he's slow, bro. Who else? Jolteon, maybe? Jolteon would be really good. Like a just like mid-sized dog.
I was thinking Furret.
Breloom?
I love Furret more than anything. Furret would be a great cuddle companion, and Furret would be a nice, like, I feel like Furret is responsible enough to like be able to live in the size of apartment that we have. Even though Furret is huge, that's fine.
Furret is the biggest one of all.
Well, it's just long. It's not like huge. I mean, it's like 5'10", but that's not like it stands up all the time. It's like the length head to tail tip. So that's just like a very, very large ferret.
That's true.
But also I think that honestly, realistically, I could have like a Chansey or a Wigglytuff. I think I might want a Wigglytuff because I literally work in an animal hospital 5 days a week, and it would be so at home working. It would be the closest thing to a Pokemon Center that you could get.
What about like a
Wigglytuff
Chansey?
to. I love Chansey. Chansey's great, but Chansey's also like larger. I think I like Wigglytuff.
Right.
I think like I think I would like to have Wigglytuff. And Wigglytuff's small, it's light, it's nice. And I feel like it would just like, be my bro. And I feel like it's calm enough that it'll just like help me out when I'm working with animals.
Yeah, and you know what else? I could hang out in the yard with the Breloom, so maybe that's the answer is Breloom.
Ah.
I could totally see you with a Wigglytuff though. You guys have the same sort of like cute demeanor but serious like attitude.
I love the Wigglytuffs in the series, XY the series. They're sassy and cute and they're great. They have a lot of personality.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for that email. Hope that answers your question. This next one I saw earlier and I just had to read it because it's so interesting. I thought you would like this. Rockruff's Unseen Connection. Okay. Ooh. Hi, Alex, Kellz, Jimmy, and anyone I might miss. Connor here, first-time writer, longish listener, yada, yada, yada. I wanted to write in about the newly revealed dope as all get out middle stage starter evolutions and share my thoughts on a theme I noticed. Now, a while back, we have been given hints by Korokoro that Rockruff and the starters share a secret. Now, while many have speculated this means the final starter evolutions will have two forms a la Lycanroc, I think there's a possible thematic connection that has been reinforced by the latest trailer as of October 4th. In short, I think all three starters and Rockruff all have awkward social anxieties that you as the trainer need to help them grow out of. What do I mean by this? Well, if you look back to Midday Lycanroc's entry on the website, it refers to Rockruff as having a rebellious phase, and the middle starter forms follow suit. Dartrix is vain and somewhat anxious about his appearance, especially in embarrassing situations. Torracat is noted as being spoilt and possibly even headstrong, and Brionne, possibly the most tragic of all, is said to keep all its emotions bottled up inside.
This is exactly what
something I sympathize with incredibly deeply. So from my perspective at least, there's a theme between these four Pokemon that helps solidify the connections. Am I seeing things that aren't there? What are your thoughts? Regardless, I can't wait to help my best buddies grow emotionally in Sun and Moon. Hashtag team multiple playthroughs for all three starters. Hashtag Ash Greninja Confliction. Hashtag I'll give him a shot though. Hashtag can't wait for all the ghost types in Sun and Moon. Hashtag sorry for the long hashtags.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that was like totally smitten by this whole thing. This is so cool.
Let me just, so remember how they were saying like Rockruff like has the dual evolution, so that's why like the starters might have dual evolutions. Uh-huh. What if it depends on how well you do?
Whoa, like a Tamagotchi? I mean,
if you hit a threshold, you get like the confident one, and if you don't hit that threshold, you get like the like
more
depressed
wild one,
like the depressed one. Yeah.
Well, let's just
not depressed, but just a little bit more unstable. Let's say, yeah.
That's crazy, and I'm so glad that you pointed this out with Rockruff too, because like you're totally right. I remember it saying that there's like a rebellious phase. And regardless of whether or not this is an actual mechanic in the game, like I said earlier, I just love the fact that they're like putting more complex emotions into Pokemon that like will require you to like think through it, and it's really like a cool strategy to get you to really connect with your Pokemon. And it's more than just like, oh, it's so cute, but it's now like an emotional level. Like think of Mimikyu, right? Like we were all so smitten with Mimikyu because we're like, he just wants to be popular. Like, I feel that.
Right.
Like, I feel like so many of these Pokemon have like just a little bit deeper of an emotional connection.
Maybe it's just really that theme of like the trainer's impact on the Pokemon's development.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the theme. It's possible, especially since like merging Pokemon and humans seems to be like on the menu this time. We will see.
It's really neat. I really like the direction that
yes.
This all seems to imply that the game is kind of going.
Yes. Thank you for that email.
Thank you.
This next one is from Cody, predicting the future. The next podcast asked me not to read this, but damn it, I'm going to read it anyway because it's the truth. The next podcast is the best podcast ever, period. Hey guys, Cody here. I don't know if this is acceptable, but I'm writing in for podcast number 112. If this is frowned upon, I shall write it on the appropriate time. Anyway, I'm predicting you guys discuss the VGC 2017 rules that were announced. One of the rules are Pokemon obtained in Sun and Moon. Does this mean I'm not able to Pokebank my super reliable Lucario to Sun and Moon? Or if Lucario is obtainable in Sun Moon, is that allowed? I hope I worded this correctly, and thanks for being awesome. P.S. Wow, this really looks like a long email. It wasn't. Hashtag too lazy to hashtag. So, clarification is needed. What it means for a Pokemon to be competitively viable is that A, they must be available in the Alolan Pokedex, not the National Pokedex, which means it must be naturally available in the Alola region. That's part one of this. Part two is that no, if it's the same exact Lucario from Gen 6 that you're bringing over, even though Lucario is in this hypothetical situation available to you in Alola, you literally have to grab one from Alola for it to be competitively viable.
Right. So you would have to retrain a Lucario.
Yeah.
Until rules either change or they announce a different format.
Yeah.
But that is
dude,
the case.
nice future sight. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Great. Okay, we got time for one more, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. This one is from Bryson. Poke Science, even Kellz didn't know? Ooh,
Shot.
exciting. Here we go.
Fired?
I don't know.
No?
Hey, Dexcast. Bryson here. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. I am.
Yeah.
I recently came across something written by Takeshi Shudo, the original writer of the first season of the Pokemon anime, as well as the first 3 movies. I quoted it at the bottom. Unfortunately, his writing is very hard to find translated. I found a good translation on one website, but the Japanese anime company ShowPro shut it down. It's rather frustrating as this man really had a lot of interesting things to tell us about Pokemon, but the anime company seemed to have thought his thoughts to be too extreme, mature, or bleak. Anyways, I want to say more, but I'm worried this email's already too long and you'll skip it and miss out on the amazing lore. Lol. Here it is. By the way, this is not a long email just because you double spaced it. Next. Here it is. This isn't common knowledge. This is the quote. This isn't common knowledge, but it's impossible to detect the chemical makeup of a Pokemon's body. As such, when a Pokemon fossil is discovered on occasion, we are unable to determine the time period it lived in, unlike other fossils. This isn't the only difference between Pokemon and other creatures. The molecular geometry of a Pokemon's body is also different to that of other creatures. Basically, Pokemon are highly mysterious creatures. Later, man. And just to clarify, Shudo did not say later, man. That was just the sign off of this email.
Right. That is a quote that I've never heard before.
Me neither.
Very, very exciting quote. But what it kind of makes sense for the games, that is. Could you reread the end part of that?
This isn't the only difference between Pokemon and other creatures. The molecular geometry of a Pokemon's body is also different to that of other creatures. Basically, Pokemon are highly mysterious creatures.
Well, this explains a lot about, I guess the biggest question that a lot of people always have is like, how do they become data that can live in your PC? What does this mean about what Pokemon are made of? Are they digital? Are they organic? Like, what is that? And I guess this just confirms, it's not a yes or a no, but it confirms that it's something different than what we're familiar with.
Right.
And so there really is something to it, and somebody knows about it, but not us.
Right.
But this is a great quote. This is really interesting, and it's
I could use this. This makes me want to like go back and read things that are in Japanese, because I bet you there's a lot of answers there that we just don't have in English.
Yeah. Well, can you read the very beginning of it again?
Of the quote?
Yeah.
Sure. This isn't common knowledge, but it's impossible to detect the chemical makeup of a Pokemon's body.
Yeah, that's interesting.
As such, when a Pokemon fossil is discovered on occasion, we are unable to determine the time period it lived in, unlike other fossils. That's huge, right? That's crazy, right?
That's so interesting. Yeah, that is so interesting. Because
it also seems like retcon the nonsense of there being fossils.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting it, but the other way of putting it is that it's a frustratingly clever way for Pokemon to cover some bases with plot holes.
Or they have an answer, or they have a Bible.
Yeah, they must. Somebody must know.
That's what I mean. Like, somebody has to have thought it out pretty far.
Which is neat, because that means that maybe one day we'll all learn the answers.
I would kill for the Hyrule Historia of Pokemon. Anyway, guys.
That was a really cool email. Thank you.
If you have anything else that you'd like to add, or any insane Japanese revelation translations quotes like this one, please send them in to thedexcast@gmail.com. Again, that's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on Friday, why not pop over to our channel to check out the Dex Versus Pokemon Pinball Part 2, which is out today. Or if you're listening to this on Saturday, why not pop over to thatonevideogamer.com to check out this episode of the podcast and every episode of the podcast, even back from before we were putting them on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for writing in. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Alex.
I'm Kellz.
And we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Waiter man.